All right, diving right in today,
Yeah.
we're taking a look at a text that you sent our way.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about something pretty huge. God's forgiveness and love.
Big topic.
It is. Our kind of mission today is to really understand what this source is getting at about how God sees, like all those imperfections we carry around.
Mm.
And then, okay, what does that mean for how you see yourself?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times it feels like, well, if people really knew the real me, they wouldn't love me.
Right, for sure.
But this text is painting a very different picture when it comes to God.
Right off the bat, it's fascinating how this text kind of tackles that fear head on.
Like the fear of rejection.
Exactly. That worry that if we reveal too much, if people see our flaws,
Yeah.
it'll push them away.
Yeah.
But the source is arguing that God's love, it just works differently.
It's on a whole other level. Okay, so the text comes right out and says it. God knows everything about you, every last detail, the good, the bad, the embarrassing stuff we try to hide,
Huh.
and loves you completely anyway. Now, when we think about letting people see the real us,
Oh, it's scary.
it can be so scary. There's this fear of judgment, right?
For sure.
So how does this text say God's awareness is different from that human kind of judgment?
That's the key point here. The text is saying that God's love isn't conditional. It's not based on how good we are or how well we hide our flaws.
Oh, interesting.
It's actually the opposite. It's like those imperfections, those things we're so afraid of, they become the setting where God's grace and forgiveness can really shine.
Oh, I see. It's not that God doesn't notice the messy parts of us,
Right.
but that those parts are the very things he wants to heal and redeem. And this leads us to that central image in Christianity, Jesus at the cross.
Yep.
The text explains that God didn't just overlook our issues.
No.
They were fully acknowledged and, in a way, placed on Jesus.
Born by him.
Yeah. So it's powerful because it's saying God sees it all.
He does.
But those things, those sins, they've been dealt with at Calvary. That barrier is gone.
It's huge for getting rid of any shame we might be carrying around, any embarrassment about those weaknesses.
Yeah.
Because the text is saying God knows, and he still loves. It's not a disappointment to him.
It's almost like the starting point.
It is. It is.
It makes me think of that verse in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 15.
I love that verse.
It reminds us that Jesus wasn't this distant figure who couldn't relate.
Mm-hmm.
He experienced temptation, just like us, but didn't sin.
Yeah.
So it's saying, listen, God gets it. He isn't sitting there waiting for you to be perfect before he'll love you.
Absolutely not. He's with you in the struggle.
And to bring this even closer to home, the text then highlights Romans chapter 5, verses 8 and 9.
Oh,
It says, and I'm quoting here, God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us.
powerful.
It blows my mind every time I hear it. Love offered before we even tried to clean up our act, before we even knew him.
Before anything.
Yeah, what a perspective shift.
It is. It is.
Okay, so the text keeps going, and now it talks about what this means for you and me now that we have been cleansed by Jesus's blood.
He gets into this idea of righteousness.
Yeah. It's a big word.
But it's key.
And this righteousness comes from Jesus, and this is where it gets really interesting. This righteousness isn't something you earn and can lose, like, good behavior points.
Right.
It's a permanent state. It's part of who you are now.
Like built in.
Built in, yeah. The text uses the analogy of a butterfly and a caterpillar.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. Once you're a believer and you have that righteousness from Jesus, even if you mess up, which we all do, right?
We do.
It's like a butterfly maybe landing in the mud for a second,
Yeah.
but it doesn't change what it is. It doesn't become a caterpillar again.
You're still a butterfly.
Still a butterfly. The core identity has been transformed. So what's the practical takeaway for us here, for anyone listening? This text suggests that really grasping this identity, seeing yourself as righteous in God's eyes.
Not because you've earned it, but because of Jesus.
Exactly. That's what empowers you to overcome those sins, those habits you want to break.
It's a total game changer.
Yeah.
I'm curious, for you listening, how do you think your life would be different if you truly believe that God sees you as righteous already, not based on anything you've done, but on what Jesus has already done?
Right. Does that shift things from a feeling of like, ugh, I'm failing,
Yeah.
to a place of hope and power?
To freedom.
Freedom, yes. So today in this deep dive, we've been looking at how this text presents this huge concept
Huge concept.
of God's love and forgiveness and how it's unconditional, that even before we tried to be perfect.
And the craziest part, it stays with us
It does, even with all our flaws.
Yeah, that righteousness that comes from Jesus, that's not a free pass to do whatever. It's fuel, it's strength. It's what gives us the power to actually change.
It's like the foundation.
It is. And this is what I keep coming back to. How would your life, your self-acceptance, be different if you truly, deeply lived from that place? Knowing you are loved, you are accepted, not because you've earned it, but because of what Jesus did.
Something to think about for sure.
Absolutely.